Trudeau's chief science advisor, a sciencey kind of guy. Although what I learned from the Public Order Emergency Commission is you can be an advisor on just about anything while simultaneously having no expertise in the field upon which you're advising. As we learned with the National Security Advisor, she was just some lady that seemed to have a lot of liberal ties, and she had existed around the bureaucracy for a while. So I don't know if that's the case with Ben Lobb here. I should do some Googling around, but he sure doesn't say very smart things here, I don't think.
Quick questions here to Shawn. Shawn, I just wondered when we're making policy, when I say we, I mean the government and the civil servants are making policy to say, for example, the 30% reduction in fertilizer emissions. Do we consult with the citizen scientist who would be the farmer? Do we consult with that individual and say, hey, Jim, do you think you could reasonably reduce your fertilizer use by 30% by such and such a date? Or do we make these targets and then say, hey, Jim, here's what you have to do, pal? Which one is it? And do we respect the citizen farmer scientist when we are making these targets?
Thank you for this question. It's, of course, a good one. This is really into the policy realm, I would say, which is beyond the purview of the scientists and the science managers and science advisors. Here, we were certainly very interested and active in trying to understand the fertilizer usage in partnership with AAFC colleagues and understanding impacts on the environment. But the actual policies of the 30% levels or how this communication works with our partners within the farming community are more at the policy level, not something which I think we can speak to here.
So,
yeah, more at the policy level.
Here. I got to correct myself here. So Ben Lobb, good guy. He's a Conservative MP for Bruce Huron. I think it's Shawn Marshall is the chief policy advisor, chief science advisor in environment and climate change. And this is so basically he's saying these 30% reductions, these are just a political decision. Now they tell us that they're all based in science and trust the science, and scientists are smarter than the farmers who use the chemicals on their plants to sustain their yields. But he's admitting we just sort of make these things up for political reasons, probably because everybody else is doing it.
Well, Sheila, what would those dumb farmers know about farming?
Yeah, right.
You know, I mean, and I always was led to believe, I mean, I don't have a green thumb, but if I went into farming or even gardening, isn't fertilizer a good thing? Doesn't that make things grow? Don't we need food? I mean, yeah. I look at across the pond, the biggest supermarket chain in the UK, Tesco, is actually rationing fruits and vegetables right now. So doesn't that say to you that maybe in the supply chain there are shortages and we want fertilizer to boost yields as opposed to taking away fertilizer for virtue signaling, for this bullshit narrative of fighting the climate emergency? I mean, that's what this is about, Sheila, at the end of the day.
Yeah, you get to eat less and pay more for the food you can't afford to fight climate change. And yet this guy's telling us that we don't even know if this works. These are political decisions. And I say chemicals, and that's probably scaring people, but these are naturally occurring organic compounds that plants need to grow and thrive. You just add a little bit more to up your yield. And the idea that farmers are just out there in the field with a hose spraying fertilizer around and not using precisely only the amount that you need is insane. Fertilizer is expensive. Farmers, like I said earlier, input costs are up. We try to keep our input costs low so that we can maximize our financial income on the other side, because as I always point out, we're price takers. We're not price setters. We're selling into a global market at that price. We don't get to negotiate the price. And so, you know, you have to keep your input costs low. So the idea that farmers are overusing fertilizer is absolutely crazy. And it's going to manifest itself very, very quickly on the grocery shelves. And rest assured, you can sleep well tonight knowing that science was not involved in any of this. Apparently,
Sheila,
listen to the science guy.
Yeah, he's the science guy, but he's not the farming guy. And the absolute chutzpah, the sheer unmitigated gall at play here. Look, I'm a city boy. I don't know anything about farming. So the idea of me going on to Green Acres and telling the farmer, this is what you need to do, and you want to take away this fertilizer to save the planet. I wouldn't have that kind of gall even if I tried, Sheila. And that's what this is. It's absolutely galling.
Well, and I like how Ben Lobb, MP Ben Lobb from Huron-Bruce, describes farmers there. He calls them citizen scientists. Yeah. And you better believe they are. These people live on the land. They make a living on the health of the land upon which they live and work. They are stewards of the land. Yep. They know better about what their land needs and about the health of their land than some pencil-pushing bureaucrat in a cubicle in Ottawa somewhere, or some politically motivated virtue signaler in Justin Trudeau's cabinet. If their land is unhealthy, their families starve. One way or another, they are not going to harm their land to maximize profits. It just doesn't have any sort of foresight. And it is paternalism, nonsense, to think that Justin Trudeau would know better about my farm than I do.
Unbelievable.